Hello everyone and welcome to the big game. I'm John Sartori alongside Freddie Rosario, and on this show we'll see if the Saints were able to win their second straight.
And we'll also check in on the men's and women's basketball teams as they approach tip-off of their new seasons.
But first, let's check in with the Lion football team as they looked for their first road victory of 2016. Southeastern football headed out to Nacogdoches, Texas last Saturday as they took on Southland Conference opponent Stephen F. Austin. The Lions were looking to break a 5-game road losing streak that dates back to last season. Let's head out to the Lone Star State to see if the Lions could snap the streak. Southeastern taking on Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches, Texas. 3-3 is where we're going to pick it up, and Southeastern gets into the end zone first as Justin Allo, a beautiful pass to Brandon Acker, gets the foot in bounds. 10-3 the score. Chest bump with Jawan Rogers that time. 10-3 the score. Southeastern makes it a 14-point game as Jawan Dickey gets in on the action in the corner of the end zone. 17-3 the score, but Stephen F. Austin answers as Lauren Easley makes it look easy all the way to the end zone. 61 yards on the run for the senior running back for the Lumberjacks. 7-point game, but Jawan Dickey, his second touchdown catch of the first half, puts the Lions back on top by 2 touchdowns. Later on, Juice Marcelin will get into the end zone from a yard out right here, and it is 30-10 after the extra point was missed by Jonathan Tatum. Now, the Lions looking to put the game away before halftime, but wait a minute, says George Stone, picks it off, and it's a pick six for the Lumberjacks. 30-17, the halftime score. Now, the lead is 6, but it's back up to 13. Kalen Henderson, the converted defensive back, gets to the house. 13-point game, 37-24. Easley still making it look easy as he goes untouched again all the way for 6. 3-point game. Stephen F. looking to complete the comeback with a field goal, but it's blocked. And Courtney Rutledge scoops it up, and he is going all the way to the house. 44-34 as Stephen F. would have one last chance to try to get back in this one. But this is a pick six coming back the other way. Ja'Cory Fuller, the freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana, puts it away. And Southeastern gets their first road victory of the year as they outscore Stephen F. Austin 21-0 in the fourth on the way to their third victory of 2016.
The Lions finally found a way to win on the road for the first time in nearly a year on Saturday. The big game's Richie Solaris will break down the win in this week's Southeastern Analysis.
The Lions had their biggest score total in a game since 2014 with 58 points. Looks can be deceiving though, because although they did win by 24 points, the game was a lot closer than it seemed. The Lions offense got off to a hot start, scoring 30 points in the first half. Justin Allo continued his strong season by throwing for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. He confidently moved the ball downfield and kept the defense on their toes by throwing a few bombs downfield. Allo took a big hit in the third quarter, and quarterback Deshae Landor came into the game. The offense struggled to find its footing with Landor under center. They did score once more, but not until the end of the game when the Lions were already ahead by 17 points. The receiving combo of Jawan Dickey and Brandon Acker have proven to be a deadly one this season. The dynamic duo have helped the Lions create a more vertical offense this season and now present a major threat to defenses on the deep ball. Those two stuck true to that threat, combining for 200 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Dickey had a particularly good day, catching 5 balls, 2 touchdowns, and a career-high 156 receiving yards. His biggest play of the night was a 69-yard bomb from Justin Allo, where he would score 2 plays later. The Lions defense has struggled on the road this season, and that fact didn't change against the Lumberjacks. The Lions' 9th-ranked run defense in the conference gave up 169 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns to running back Lauren Easley. Easley averaged a gaudy 12 yards per carry against the Lions defense. They have given up 30 or more points now in 3 of their 4 road games this season. Despite how poorly the defense played up to this point, they came alive in the 4th quarter and won the game for the Lions. After Allo got hurt, the Lumberjacks moved into Lions territory, but back-to-back sacks from Sean Clavel and Abraham Freeman forced them to punt. The Lions defense would then score back-to-back touchdowns. Courtney Rutledge picked up a blocked field goal and ran it back for 72 yards. Ja'Cory Fuller would then intercept the pass on the next drive and take it 41 yards into the end zone for the score and effectively the win. After the win, the Lions are now tied for 3rd in the Southland Conference with a record of 3-3. For the big game, I'm Richie Solaris.
The Lions will return to the field this Saturday for homecoming against Houston Baptist. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. and it will be broadcast right here on the Southeastern Channel. Following their first victory of the 2016 season, the New Orleans Saints returned home to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome to take on their division rival, the Carolina Panthers, and Cam Newton, who returned for his first game back from a concussion. Will the Black and Gold find a way to win in front of the home crowd for the first time this season? Let's go to the highlights. Panthers versus the Saints, starting off here with a 4th and 1, and it'll be Kobe Fleener with the rushing touchdown. Yes, you heard that right, the tight end getting it done, rushing the ball. The Saints at the 12-yard line as Breeze finds Cook streaming down the sideline. The Panthers might want to cover him a little bit better than that next time as he pounds it in for 6. And Cook's right there with the arrow, not the shot though, his new NFL mandated celebration. But when you see a punt on the highlight reel, it is either a fumble or it's either a great return. And this time it's an amazing return by Tommy Lee Lewis as he blows by absolutely everyone. And it's down to him versus the kicker. Man versus man, and the kicker wins. Trips him up and stops him right there. That would set up Breeze to Thomas, and the Saints are up 21-0 early. The Panthers driving, and Cam Newton is picked off by Sterling Moore, who is just able to keep his feet in bounds for the interception. The Panthers are looking in trouble thus far in this one. The Panthers, though, cut the lead to 11 when Newton finds Devin Funches for 6. The Saints add a field goal, and Newton throws his second touchdown pass of the game to Ed Dixon, and the Panthers are on the comeback trail. Breeze trying to keep the Saints in the lead, and it's another Fleener sighting, as it'll be the second touchdown of the game for Kobe Fleener. 31-17, the Carolina pulling out a trick play as it is a reverse that turns into a Ted Ginn pass into the end zone, and flags flying everywhere as the Panthers get the ball at the 2 and Jonathan Stewart spins his way in, and then he's not done there, gets another touchdown, 2 touchdowns on the day for Stewart. Breeze this time will find Josh Hill in the end zone looking for the dagger, but did he hold on to it? As we go to the booth and see Hill there, 2 hands on the ball, lands in the end zone. Panthers cornerback trying to swat it away. It'll be reviewed. Saints challenge, and it is a touchdown for the Saints. The Panthers down by 8, and Newton extends his 6'5" frame in for 6, but they need 2 more. And they will get it here as Newton finds Funches again to tie the score up. Now let's flash back to week 1. The Saints with a chance to win it. Will Lutz with the field goal misses wide left. And it's down to the same exact situation this past weekend as Lutz, another chance to be the hero, bangs it through right down the middle, and the Saints go on the win 41-38. Breeze 464 yards, 4 touchdowns. Newton with a good game, but not enough to beat the Black and Gold at home.
After a slow start to the season, the Saints finally looked to have some momentum following their second straight win. I was able to head out to the Superdome to report on the Black and Gold's most recent victory.
The New Orleans Saints returned home to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for a matchup with the reigning NFC champion Carolina Panthers, well rested following their bye week and looking to build on their win over the San Diego Chargers 2 weeks prior. A balanced attack from Mark Ingram on the ground and Drew Brees through the air guided the Saints' offense early as Kobe Fleener scored his first career rushing touchdown on the first drive of the contest.
Drew snaps the ball, hands me the ball, I run in the end zone, and we score. I mean, I try not to get tackled on the way in, I guess.
The defense fed off the offense's strong play in the quarter as the defensive line put pressure on reigning MVP Cam Newton throughout the quarter, producing 2 sacks.
No, we had a good game plan going in, very elaborate. Put me in a couple different positions, and I had to take advantage. I mean, Kenny played his butt off. We made him uncomfortable in the pocket.
Brees also threw for his 5,500th career passing yard against the Panthers during the first quarter, a feat that he has now accomplished against all NFC South opponents. In the second quarter, the usually lethargic special team squad got involved with a 59-yard punt return from Tommy Lee Lewis, which led to another Saint touchdown, which put the black and gold up 21-0. The defense stepped up in the red zone later in the quarter, picking off Newton in the end zone. The Saints went into halftime up 14 after scoring on 4 of their 6 first-half possessions, with no turnovers committed and helping Brees reach the 50,000 passing yardage mark since joining the team in 2006. In the third quarter, the Panthers began to click offensively, thanks to the help of some poor execution defensively from the Saints, as 3 pass interference calls in the second half directly led to Carolina touchdowns on the next play. The balanced offensive attack from the Saints also became one-dimensional. After rushing for 36 yards on 9 carries in the first half, Mark Ingram ran for just 6 yards on 4 attempts in the third quarter. The 2 NFC South rivals stood toe-to-toe in the fourth, as Brees completed another milestone on the day, reaching 400 yards. It was Brees' 15th career 400-yard performance, which gives him the most all-time. With the game tied at 38, Brees led the Saints on an 11-play, 41-yard drive, which set up rookie Will Lutz with a chance for his first career game-winning field goal.
As soon as they scored the 2-point conversion, I looked at Thomas and Justin. I said, let's go win this thing. So, ever since Oakland, I've been itching for another opportunity, and short memory is huge. It's all about the next kick, and fortunately, I made the next kick.
Despite a second-half struggle in which the team saw their 21-point first-half lead disappear, the Saints were able to hang on in the second half as they defeated their division rival, the Carolina Panthers, 41-38 today in the Superdome. The Saints will take to the road next week as they look for their 3rd straight victory of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. For the big game, I'm John Sartori. The men's basketball team is preparing for its 3rd season under head coach Jay Ladner. Jordan Reams was able to stop by with the team recently as they look to build on the momentum of last year's Southland Conference tournament appearance.
The Southeastern men's basketball team has high expectations for the 2016 season. With the new defensive mindset and a better team chemistry, their chances of reaching their expectations soar to a new level.
Defensively, we're a lot further along than we were last year. It takes a while to build a good, tough man-to-man culture on your team, and through experience and, again, drill and repetition, we've been able to certainly improve. Do we have a lot of room to improve? Absolutely. I'm not happy where we are, not satisfied, but I probably will never be there anyway. But I am happy with our defensive effort. We should be a much better defensive team this year.
This year team is more team-oriented. We're closer than we was last year. It's way more chemistry this year. We got guys who love playing and working out together. It's a younger team, but it's still some experience. We got 2 older hands. It should be a good year.
Returning 4 starters and 7 letter winners brings the team much-needed experience, but even experienced players can look to improve.
Me personally, I need to get my shot more consistent than what it was last year, and get my teammates more involved and get out of the I mentality, and put the team first.
Having experience allows us, one, we're not having to teach everything from the ground floor as much. Certainly, we always want to go back and make sure that we're fundamentally sound in everything that we do, but we're just further along in our schemes than we were defensively, offensively. Everything was just so new to everyone last year, not like that this year. And then secondly, the younger players, it helps so much that they can look up to somebody that's actually been through the wars before, been through conference play, played the tough out-of-conference schedule we have.
Reporting for the big game, I'm Jordan Reams.
The Lady Lions basketball team will head into a new season under the leadership of first-year head coach Errol Goff. Jordan Reams also had time to stop by and check in with the new regime as they approach the tip-off of the new season.
The Lady Lions had a 2015 season that included a 4-25 record and not qualifying for the conference tournament. With the new head coach and former Southeastern men's basketball assistant coach Errol Goff, a change of culture could be on the horizon.
I think we've had a lot of changes come about. Hopefully, the biggest ones are that we play more as a team. Not that and it's tough to say. I wasn't with the program before, so I'm not sure exactly how they played. But when I say more as a team, we try and focus on everything we do. making sure we're communicating, making sure we're competing, and making sure we're well conditioned to do whatever it is to the best of our ability. And in doing that, we hope the changes that come about is that you see it on the court by the effort of the young ladies and how they play together.
A lot of the main differences are that we're going to be more of a running team and also more focused on defensively rather than just offensively solely, so a lot of defense.
The loss of 4 seniors can hurt a program. When one of those seniors is Nana Poole, who scored 1,000 points and grabbed 1,000 rebounds during her career at Southeastern, that hurt becomes a sting.
It's hard to fill that gap, man. It's really hard. But playing behind her last year, hopefully I can step up and do half of what she has done, even touch it. But the players from last year also be able to touch what she has done, and people that has came in be able to help out and fulfill that gap.
I would love for us to have a low post presence such as a Nana Poole, who could get you baskets and rebounds, somebody who you could count on, pencil it in, almost a double-double prior to the game starting. We don't have that, but the way we're playing, I think, is a little different style of play than they played last year, so I don't know how much we'll miss her. Do we miss her? Heck yeah, you always want a player of that type of quality, and she's a good person, character. So ideally, heck yeah, we'd love to have a Nana Poole, but since I never saw her play in this system, I don't know how badly missed she is or will be.
The Lady Lions will be in action right here at the UC on November 3rd when they take on Loyola University in an exhibition matchup. For the big game, I'm Jordan Reams.
Coming up after the break, we'll get an update on how the volleyball and tennis teams fared this weekend. The big game. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the big game. The Lady Lions soccer team took on Southland rival Sam Houston State last Friday, and I was able to head out to Strawberry Stadium to get a closer look at the contest. The Southeastern Lady Lions soccer team continued its playoff push when it took on the Sam Houston State Lady Bearcats with just 5 games remaining on the season. The first goal of the game went to Southeastern in the 3rd minute of the contest, as Sophia Olsen scored her team-leading 6th goal of the season. The goal would be all the Lady Lions needed, as goalie Hope Savadash added 4 saves to her Southeastern career record for saves and her 3rd shutout of the season. The Lady Lions scored again in the 37th minute when Amber Marinero scored her first career goal to put the Lions up 2-0. Sam Houston had plenty of opportunities to score in the first half, totaling 5 shots on goal. Interim coach Matt Mewa said the work at practice paid off.
Changing the way we practice a little bit and really allowing the girls to get comfortable in just more reps and different situations, and the organization level is way higher than it was previously in the earlier parts of the season, so we're actually feeling like we're getting comfortable back there now.
In the second half, the Lady Lions kept up the pressure offensively, putting 13 shots on goal and breaking through in the 67th minute when Casey Peacock scored her 3rd goal of the season. She had 5 shots, 3 on goal, to go along with an assist in the game. Peacock pointed to the pressure of the Lady Lions' late playoff push for the team's performance.
So there's a lot going into it ahead of time. The girls knew it was a big game. We're at home. Like Coach said, we've really gotten comfortable at practice. We've really started working on a lot of reps, a lot of touches on the ball, a lot of shots, and I think that's helped us a lot for sure.
The rest of the Lady Lions' schedule consists of Southland opponents, and they'll need to continue playing well to secure one of the tournament spots. The Lady Lions offense exploded for 3 goals here tonight against the Sam Houston State Lady Bearcats, and they keep pace for one of the final spots in the Southland Conference to advance on to the Southland Conference Tournament. For the big game, I'm Freddie Rosario.
Freddie, that was a great job.
Thanks, man. It really means a lot coming from you. Hope you know that.
You betcha. The Lady Lions volleyball team has found some much-needed momentum over the past week. The Lady Lions down Nichols at home 3-1 before besting the number 2 team in the conference, Northwestern State, 3-2. The Lady Lions will take on UIW and Texas A&M Corpus Christi later this week as they attempt to assure themselves a spot in the Southland Conference Volleyball Tournament. Their conference record currently sits at 3-4 with 8 games remaining before the tournament.
The men's and women's cross-country teams have continued their strong performances through the fall, and the big game's Dylan Domain has the update on those performances.
The Southeastern men and women's cross-country team both sprinted their way to top 5 finishes at the Mississippi College Choctaw Open at the Choctaw Trails. Junior Clarissa Smith led the Lady Lions and finished second overall in Division I 5K with a personal best time of 18 minutes 46 seconds. Sophomores Allie Stone and Amber Ferguson each finished in the top 25 overall, while freshman Lil Ann Hodgkepler ran to a 27 overall finish in her first meet. Freshman Grant O'Callahan led the men's team for the second time this year as he scored 18th in the 8K. Sophomore Sal Grazafi finished 25th overall as he sprinted his way to a new personal best time of 27.5 minutes. Southeastern will hope to ride this momentum as their next competition is in Nacogdoches, Texas on October 28th in the Southland Championships. For the Big Game, I'm Dylan Doming.
The young Southeastern golf team has found some maturity in the fall. Christine Grunder went out to the links recently to catch up with the squad.
The Southeastern's men's golf team competed in the David Toms Intercollegiate Tournament held in Baton Rouge on October 8th and 9th. The Lions, led by head coach Jake Narrow, finished 8th overall and made the strong finish that Narrow was hoping for. In the final round, the Lions were able to pull ahead 3 spots after shooting a 15 over par 303. The Lions finished the tournament at 54 over 918. For senior James Antiste, this tournament showcased his best for the fall, shooting 1 over 73 to climb 9 spots into a 3-way tie for 13th at 7 over 223. Senior Paul Oberman also made some big moves in the final round, jumping 13 spots into a 5-way tie for 26. Oberman landed his 8th career eagle, tying him with Lawrence Allen and Cedric Soto for 5th in the Lions career list. The Lions will head to ULM Duck Commander Intercollegiate Tournament in El Dorado, Arkansas on October 30th through November 1st. Reporting for the Big Game, I'm Christine Grunder.
The Southeastern tennis team recently headed to Pensacola, Florida for the University of West Florida Fall Fling. The doubles team of CeCe Mercer and Danny Regatas teamed up to take the title. The Lady Lions will have off until they close out the fall, November 4th through the 6th, hosting the George Formo Fed Cup Invitational.
Never sends me to Pensacola. One of Southeastern's top men's basketball coaches in recent history will be honored at homecoming this weekend. New Orleans native and Southeastern grad Billy Kennedy, who guided the Lions to the Southland Conference title and their first ever trip to the Big Dance in 2005, will be honored as Alumnus of the Year at the homecoming banquet Friday night. Kennedy had stops at Miami and Murray State before becoming the head coach at Texas A&M, where last year he guided the Aggies to the Sweet 16 and was named the Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year. When we return, we'll bring Zachariah Cameron to the desk for Pick and Roll. Don't go anywhere.
The Southeastern Channel offers a lot for sports fans.
Coaches shows, interviews with student athletes.
Football games, baseball games, basketball games.
I enjoy watching the coaches' insight programs after online tracks because it does give our fans an insight of what happened during the game.
I enjoy watching the big game. You know, it gives me an opportunity to keep up with Southeastern athletics on a weekly basis. You know, not just football, baseball, basketball, but even the smaller sports, you know, like soccer and volleyball.
One of the things I've enjoyed most through the years watching is the production of the glory years.
It's a history, it's a documentation of where we've come from around here.
Solidified the reason why we brought Southeastern football back.
When the Southeastern Channel replays games, it helps the students be able to catch up and see what's going on.
I like to watch the baseball games and the football games.
It's the only time I get to watch Southeastern football is I get to see it on television. I don't ever have time to go.
Even athletics can be an educational experience when you involve the Southeastern Channel.
Welcome back to the Big Game. I'm John Sartori alongside Freddie Rosario, and joining us now on the desk for Pick and Roll is Zach Cameron. Zachariah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, John.
First time on the desk, man. How's it feel?
It feels great. A dream come true.
Good, good. Been dreaming about this a long time?
Yes, I have.
Good, good. All right, so guys, we're going to start with Justin Allo, the Southeastern quarterback, went down with a shoulder injury in that win against Stephen F. Austin last week. Deshae Landor, who has really underperformed recently, is going to get the start Saturday against Houston Baptist. How do you see that game going for Southeastern with Landor starting, Zach?
Well, John, I like Southeastern's chances. You see, there's a reason why Landor was a starter, at the beginning of camp. And next thing you know, he lost his job. But the team is familiar with Landor. I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder. And last game, he threw a touchdown pass. So that should, enhance his confidence for next game.
And Freddie, the turnover issue is really why Landor lost the job. How do you think he's going to play Saturday?
I think Deshae can really surprise some people. In the Lamar game, he really just got thrust into there. Justin Allo got pulled really early in that ball game. Deshae Landor comes in, throws 3 picks. It doesn't look good for him. He's been struggling with the turnovers, as you mentioned earlier. But Deshae's won with this team. Deshae has been the leader of this team. He's been the quarterback. With the rushing attack that Southeastern possesses, I feel like they have a really good chance against Houston Baptist, but I think Houston Baptist is still going to take it.
All right, Freddie. Well, when Houston Baptist loses on Saturday, we're going to pull out the Super Bowl prediction from you. We're going to pull out your college football playoff predictions. Michigan State, yeah, and we'll also pull that one up. We'll just make a montage of the picks.
I don't mind being wrong, You got to have your opinions. I have mine. Well, they're usually wrong, but I'm going to hit once, and we're going to be all in there.
Michigan State, the college football playoff, 2-5. All right, guys, so we're going to go from football to basketball. Southeastern basketball, the men, a really strong finish to last season. Zach, how do you see the season going for the men?
I see the Lions improving. They went from 9 wins to 12 wins. I see guys like Keith Charlton. It's his senior season, so I expect him to step up and have a career year because this is it for him. So I feel like he wants to make a statement.
And Freddie, you got players like Keith Charleston, as Zach said, and also you got some big men on the inside, Dominic Nelson, but you're looking for the outside shooters to really make an impact this year.
Yeah, definitely. Southeastern has built up a team with a lot of perimeter shooting. They've had a lot of depth back there. Without much of an inside presence, they've kind of struggled with the past couple of seasons. They're going to really rely on that outside shooting, and they'll go as their outside shooting goes. If they have a good field goal percentage from the outside, they'll win ball games.
Just 2 seniors off that squad from last year, Jermichael Hawkins and Zay Jackson. So it was a young squad last year, got a lot of experience, and this could be a really fun season for Southeastern men's basketball. Finally, we're about 6 weeks into the NFL season. I know my Super Bowl prediction hasn't worked out. I had the Carolina Panthers coming out of the NFC. So that was a surprise to me. But, Zach, what has been your biggest surprise of the NFL season so far from a team standpoint?
Well, like he said, the Carolina Panthers have been a surprise. But I got to go to the Washington Redskins. They started off 0-2. Now they've won 4 in a row. And last year I thought it was a fluke for them because they didn't beat a team above 500 the whole season. But I've been expecting them to lose and stuff, but they've been shocking me all year. So I have to go to the Washington Redskins. They're playing some great football right now.
And Freddie, who's your team?
I mean, it's got to be the guys up in Minnesota, the Sam Bradford experiment. Who would have thought? It's working up there. Quarterbacks go down the preseason, you come in, you sign Sam Bradford. Hasn't really excelled anywhere that he's been, but he's making it work up there with the Vikings, and 5-0. They got a great rushing attack, great wide receivers on the outside, and it's been a great season thus far.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I don't think anybody saw that coming, with Sam Bradford. But I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I expected them to win the AFC South. Obviously, that hasn't worked out very well so far with all the free agent signings they've had, a great draft, and to have the start they've had, it's been pretty surprising for me.
Is there a worse division in football than the AFC South, man? They're just so bad.
As of right now, I think you're right. You're right. So bad. That's a good note to leave on.
Yeah.
All right, well, when we return, we'll finish off the show with some quick hits, the big game. We'll be right back.
For the big game, I'm Richard Miller.
For the big game, I'm Colton Lucas.
For the big game, I'm Dominique Rogel.
For the big game, I'm Nicole Fauché.
For the big game, I'm Tyler Wagensback.
Welcome back to the big game. Let's finish this show off with some quick hits. In 1987, one of the greatest niche sports to ever take the field was created, and after folding in 2008 and resurfacing in 2010, it looks as if the end is near yet again for the Arena Football League. Over the past week, 5 of the league's remaining 9 teams, the Jacksonville Sharks, Portland Steel, Orlando Predators, Arizona Rattlers, and infamous LA Kiss have either folded or left for other leagues, leaving the AFL with just 4 teams for the upcoming season. Since the 2010 season, a staggering 20 teams have either folded or have left for other leagues due to financial issues or struggling attendance. The Washington Valor, Philadelphia Soul, Cleveland Gladiators, and Tampa Bay Storm are all the AFL has left in a last-ditch effort to keep the 50-yard dash alive. A league that is one of the most electrifying in the world is now surviving on life support.
The No Fun League is at it again, flagging players for over-excessive celebration, and even informing players that the celebrations they've been using are no longer allowed. Saints wide receiver Brandon Cooks changed his patented bow and arrow touchdown celebration to just pulling an arrow out of a quiver and not firing it. The NFL informed him that was no longer allowed to fire off an arrow in the celebration. Over the past few years, the NFL has cracked down on post-touchdown celebrations. Players like Terrell Owens and Chad Ochocinco Johnson made a name for themselves with their exuberant touchdown celebrations. Comparing those celebrations to those that take place today, players have become much more tame. Whether it was just a few dance moves, including the salsa dance, the dab, also dunking the ball over the goalpost, or simply removing your helmet, touchdown celebrations are one of the few examples players get to show their personality in the game they love. Celebrations are one of the best parts of team sports, and it would be a shame if the NFL would be relegated to just handing the ball to a referee after a touchdown and jogging to the sideline.
The New York Jets have named Geno Smith as their starting quarterback. Smith has shown flashes of brilliance during his previous time as a starter, but other than that, his career has been a disappointment. Before the season began, I predicted that Ryan Fitzpatrick wouldn't equal the success he had last season, but I am against his benching. Fitzpatrick does lead the league with 11 interceptions, but all of their losses have come to last season's playoff teams. The next two games are versus Baltimore and at Cleveland, so I think that the Jets should see how Fitzpatrick performs versus two teams that are currently on the slide before being benched. I do root for Geno Smith and wish him success because I feel that he gets a bad rap, but you are paying Ryan Fitzpatrick $12 million, so at least let him start for half a year.
Good job, Zach.
Thank you.
GG's, bro. GG's.
All right, man. All right, that'll do it for this episode of The Big Game. Please join us next time for some more Lions sports. For more information on Lion athletics, visit www.lionsports.net. For Zach Cameron and Freddie Rosario, I'm John Sartori. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you right here next time on The Big Game.